Hello and welcome to Holiday Watch Party with Delico Arts, Delico Home Invasion. I'm your host for the evening, Artistic Director Amanda White. We are so thrilled to have you, and I am joined this evening by the cast and creative team, well, some of the creative team, the production team anyway, behind the show. And we will introduce them in just a moment. Holiday Watch Party, what is it? This is, as you know, not a year wherein we can at Delico Arts produce a live holiday show. And for us here in our community of New Prague and for our audience community, our holiday show is always kind of a hallmark. If you will, of the season. It is a chance for us to very often bring original, locally inspired content to our stage to share with our audiences. As many of you know, this is a little insider baseball, but it is in the era of Zoom plays and YouTube Live when most theater companies and most producing organizations are bringing their content online for their audiences to safely view. The world is navigating new territory when it comes to theater rights and who can produce plays and who is paid when those plays are produced. So while all of that is being worked out, it can be very difficult for us to bring online content to you that is written elsewhere and crafted elsewhere, where the rights are held by an organization that isn't us. And so, of course, we value and honor those organizations, and we want writers to be paid for their work. So, Delico Arts is bringing this season through Holiday Watch Party a series of originally created content specifically for Delico Arts, either written by our own ensemble members or commissioned by Delico Arts from area writers. So we get to bring you tonight Adventures in Mating, the Holiday Edition, written by local Twin Cities playwright Joseph Scrimshaw, who agreed to share it with you. So we're very excited. And without further ado, let me bring in the rest of the team. Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm gonna go clockwise from the top. Okay, everybody can see the same thing I can see, right?
Everybody can see it.
Okay, great. Hi, Ben, TG,
Hi.
co-artistic director.
Oh, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you.
Well, you know what? I just am so happy to be here.
Oh, good, good. Okay, now go back to my plan. I didn't introduce you, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, starting up at the top corner, we have the glorious Perrin Kashani, production stage manager. Hi, Perrin.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks for being here. We're thrilled to have you. Okay, and then we've got Patrick Kozicki, who played the role in the original production of The Waiter.
Oh, hello. Hello, Amanda. Hello, New Prague. I'm excited and just as nervous as I was for every single show of this production.
Are you? Yeah, this is really high stakes. Really high stakes.
Yeah.
And then just below Patrick is Ben TG, the charming Ben TG.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks.
who played the role of Jeffrey.
Yep, Jeffrey. Really happy to be here. Happy to watch this super stressful show, not having to worry about my lines.
Yeah. I'm bummed not to be able to watch it from the booth. That was a really good seat, you guys.
Good vantage point.
Yeah. Okay, and then just above me is the glorious Siri Hellerman, who played the role of Miranda.
Hello. I also want to point out that one of my cats is right here, which is, if you've never seen the show, is important to note that I have cats for real.
Oh, it's so Miranda of you, Siri.
Mm-hmm.
And then
always in character.
And then right above Siri is our esteemed director, Bobby Gardner. Hi, Bobby.
Hello, Amanda. Great to be here. I don't have cats, but I have dogs that are currently chewing on their frozen Kongs for the night. So if you hear some random gobbling, that is 2 giant pit bulls gobbling on Kongs. So that's the story of my life right now.
That sounds like a precious sight. Oh, Siri, what are your cats'
Ooh.
names? Asks Sophs.
Oh, thank you so much for asking. Penelope is this one who's down here. You're gonna see my sweatpants, everyone.
Yay!
That's Penelope. And we also have Tony Pesto, who is bad. He's a bad boy.
I like him already. Like him. Good job, Siri's cats. My friends, this was a wild adventure. So the story behind this show is there is this play that Joseph Scrimshaw wrote that actually premiered at the Minnesota Fringe Festival called Adventures in Mating. And we worked on it as a Friends of Friends production at Delico Arts. And we thought it was riotous. And so we decided to ask Joseph Scrimshaw if we could commission him to write a holiday edition of the show specifically for Delico Arts. And he, against all odds, complied. So here we are. We did the show. It was produced in our 2019 holiday show, and it is a choose your own adventure. So what you're about to see is the actors come on stage, and I think it's absolutely terrifying. They perform until they get to a certain point, and then there's a pause, and they ask the audience to make the decision about what happens next. So, you guys, confirm. You were sort of forced to memorize. What did we decide? How many paths were there ultimately? I think Bobby knew this.
It was 27.
How many?
I think it was 27 different combinations of the show. That's my memory. Maybe I'm making that up,
Okay.
but that's my memory.
There's technically hundreds because there are a lot of dead ends that the audience doesn't vote on. But if the audience voted on every single one, there could have been a lot of different paths. 27 sounds pretty accurate for what we actually went through, like in the rehearsal process, because we didn't rehearse a lot of those dead ends very much because we knew that people weren't going to pick them. But yeah, that's my recollection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Point being, like it could have potentially been, and it was almost all the time, a different show every single night. So you, as an audience member, could have come on opening night and closing night and 3 other shows and seen completely different performances.
So you ended up memorizing and working on approximately like 20 some versions of the show, and Perrin ended up sorting out the cues for 20 some different shows. You guys, just epic.
Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Wow.
And the one that we're going to watch tonight was actually the final performance of the run. In which, and this is the only time we ever did this, but in this performance at the very end, because we had never done the alternate ending. One of the endings we did every single night, and so we really wanted to do the one that we didn't get to do. And so Patrick just lightly nudged them in that direction. And so this one, you'll get to see the ending that only happened one time through the entire
Okay, great. Okay, what are you guys most excited about seeing tonight? Are there things you're like, oh, I missed that moment, or I've never got to see it, or whatever, something that you're excited to check out?
I am excited to relive the Siri list of cats moment again.
Definitely.
That was one of my all-time faves, and it was really hard to not break during that moment. So I'm excited to see that again.
Okay.
There
great.
are several moments in this show that are almost impossible to not break during. And I know that I did, and I will watch myself be highly unprofessional on stage and break. I mean, there are definitely parts where I like blocked myself to like put my hand in front of my mouth because I was laughing. So I'm excited to watch that, I guess.
Yeah.
I will say
I'm
very
excited.
Oh,
Go ahead, Pam. Go
I
ahead,
was going to say
Karen.
it's
You go.
very relieving to now laugh without worrying that I am laughing more than people who are in the audience, because there were some nights in anticipation of the insanity that is about to happen, I would start giggling as I'm punching in cues, and people in the audience would just like look up to see what this show is happening upstairs.
Above their heads.
Right. I think I'm excited to see how many times I wipe my brow from terror sweats that are happening on stage during the performance.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you navigate some of the audience interaction moments. Those are always a joy.
No,
Yeah.
not for me. Not for me.
You know, it's funny about
Good at it.
Yes. It's so funny about Patrick because he always says, I hate improv. I hate doing that work. And he's so good at it. You're right.
You're so good at it.
Good work.
That was a struggle. The whole rehearsal process is Patrick being like, I'm uncomfortable with this improv stuff. And I'm like, Patrick, come on, man. You're so much better at it than you think you are.
Yes.
And it's a skill that you can practice, but some people just have an innate ability to be able to banter with the audience and to be able to do improv. And Patrick is one of those people. So,
Yep.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. I think it's just not my comfort zone, and I think that's the point. Oh, Liz, thank you.
That's praise from
Nice
you.
words from a pro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, being in a cast and a company of people who are actually professionals at doing that, it was intimidating for me to step into the role of the only person who had to improv in the show.
Chris, I agree. Patrick was perfection. You all were. Just what a riot, you guys. I'm excited to see this. And it's really kind of an interesting thing too. The scenic design some of you who saw this and Ada and the Engine may recognize that there is a deep similarity in the construct of the stage. Our scenic designer, Robin McIntyre, very smartly decided to craft a stage that he could reframe for a couple of different shows in order to save resources for the company over the season. So what you're about to see is his holiday edition that then he shifted over and recrafted for Ada and the Engine. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you guys. So here's the deal. Here's how this is going to work. So we'll watch Act 1, and then during intermission, we'll come back here and I'll ask you a few questions. We'll chat about what the audience just saw. If there are things that you see in Act 1 that you're like, okay, we have to do a little behind the music about that, let's talk about it during intermission, and then we'll go back and watch Act 2. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, we are at 30 seconds to places, folks. Break a lot of legs. Audience members, without further ado, thank you for being with us tonight, and welcome to Adventures in Mating Holiday Edition.
Thank you. I agree. This dress does bring out my eyes. Oh, me? A 4.0. Oh, no, I live alone. I have a few cats, but I don't think there's anything wrong with a single woman living alone with cats. It's a stereotype with no facts to support it. No, I'm not being defensive. You're being defensive. Miranda, stop talking to yourself. Stop talking to yourself. It is a bad habit, and you just need to stop. Okay. Yes, I think the date is going quite well. I would like to ask you back to my place, but I should warn you, if we have sex, the cats might watch.
Hello. You must be here for a date with me. Because you're the only person in the restaurant. I'm only guessing because I was told there would be a woman here waiting for me at 8 p.m. Not like people or something to be ordered online, like a pizza, or medical supplies, or robot vacuums your in-laws get you for Christmas. Obviously, there's no store that delivers people. Except escort services. Not that I'm implying you're a sex worker. And if you were a sex worker, there would be nothing wrong with that. I've been told many times that sex with me takes a lot of work. Carver once said, the hours are short and the benefits are okay. Which at the time I took as a compliment. Now I realize I was wrong to do that. The point is, you may or may not be a sex worker. I should re-examine assumptions about my own past, and you don't remind me of my mother at all. So as far as I'm concerned, this date is off to a kick-ass start.
You've attached a plastic mistletoe to an admissions band from a hospital.
No, it's not from the hospital. It's a wristband from, you know, a dance club.
You just came from a dance club called Sisters of Mercy Southwest?
Yes. It's an EDM club with a country influence. A lot of upbeat dance music about roping cattle.
You're lying, right?
Oh, yes.
Do you really want to start off a blind date by lying?
Well, it's not what I planned, but I gotta think that's how most blind dates start. I mean, if people were honest on dates, no one would ever get married, am I right? Not that I'm looking for marriage. If you want honesty, I'd like to have a few drinks and a nice meal, and then afterward, if we're both into it, we could go to one of our homes and... ... if you know it.
You and I will not be having an ellipsis tonight. At least not if the date continues in the direction you've pointed it. What's your name?
Jeffrey. But if you want to call me by a cool nickname like J-Dog or the Jeff Hound or Where Jeffrey or anything dog-related, really, I like dogs. Small neurotic chihuahuas, mostly.
Jeffrey?
Yes?
I have been on a lot of dates recently. I've tried all the dating apps, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I've tried FaceCupid, Beef Space. I've tried Christian Mingle, non-Christian Mingle. I've even tried Solo Mingle, which sets you up on a date by yourself, just to practice.
I've solo mingled many times, but I didn't know there was an app for it.
All of those apps have been deleted from my phone. And I'm down to just traditional blind dates set up by a mutual friend. So let me put this to you in no uncertain terms. I hate blind dates. They are awkward, humiliating affairs with a lower success rate than in vitro fertilization for an 80-year-old. Blind dates are like the human equivalent of animal mating rituals. I am like a rare Brazilian hummingbird, singing a beautiful song about my deep desire for the companionship of a fully mature adult. You, like so many people in today's society, are a baboon, jumping up and down and trying to impress me by pointing at your bright red ass. Now, I don't know about you, Jeffrey, but I really, really need this date to work out. So, how about we both just take a deep breath and start over?
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Hello again, I'm still Jeffrey, and you...
My name is Miranda.
Oh, like the right.
Exactly. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Ooh, ominous words to hear on a blind date.
Yeah, hopefully I won't need to get out my handcuffs and make a citizen's arrest.
No, I'll be on my most legal behavior.
Okay.
So no handcuffs for us tonight.
So, do you enjoy weather?
Yeah. When there's good weather, that's great. But then when bad weather happens, I'm just like, grrr, stupid bad weather. Like the snow outside, it's so much. You know, they say every snowflake is different, and yet they're all assholes.
Do you have any thoughts on our economy?
It certainly is big, right?
Do you have a local sports franchise for which you root?
No, I swore off sports back in high school when I broke my clavicle during a football game.
Oh, you played football in high school?
No, I was just watching.
How do you feel about the holiday season?
Oh, I love it. It's the one time of year I can go into Target and buy action figures, and people assume they're for a child. They are not! How do you feel about the holidays?
Mixed. I don't like taking this much time off work, but I do like New Year's.
Oh, why is that?
Well, you're not expected to spend it with your family, so you can stay at home, drink, and yell at time. I find that peaceful. What do you do when you're alone in your home?
No, it's this weird thing that most people say is really normal and everyone does it, but I don't think they do it as much as I do.
What do you do?
I read books.
Oh.
Yeah, like on purpose with my eyes.
Really? I work in the publishing industry.
Get out! I read books and you make them. Small world.
Yeah, I'm an editor of romance novels.
Wow! Which publishing house do you work for?
The Sweating Candle.
The Sweating Candle? Is that the one that does the erotic Jane Austen novel.
Yeah, we did Sense and Bisexuality, Mansfield Pork.
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice and Premarital Sex.
Yeah. I thought the title of that one was a little clunky, but you can't argue with sales figures. Plus, I hold stock, so I'm taken care of financially.
Awesome. I owe over $50,000 in student loans.
Are you a doctor?
No. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in marine biology with a special focus in coastal dwelling Floridian manatees.
Oh, you're a marine biologist.
No. I work in retail. At a pet store in the fish department. Last month I sold the most goldfish and my manager gave me a goldfish star. You'll never guess what I get if I sell the most starfish.
Well, if you spent all that money on the degree, why didn't you get a job as a marine biologist?
Oh, I never expected to be an actual marine biologist. It's such a competitive field. I just really wanted to learn more about manatees. I relate to them on a deep, fundamental level. They're kind and sociable, but they're slow and have a poor sense of direction. You got a favorite animal?
Oh, I like cats. I have cats. I'm single and I live alone with cats.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
Cats are awesome.
Yes, they are.
How many do you have?
More than one.
Awesome.
I have to say, I think the date is going much better now.
Yeah, it seems like it, which makes me think something terrible is going to happen any minute.
If we don't want anything terrible to happen, it won't. I mean, we are in complete control over what happens here tonight.
Oh, are we? You know, I always think about that Edward Lorenz quote about the butterfly and how every stupid little decision has the potential to set off some horrible chain reaction. You know, it's like a butterfly flapped his wings in Budapest in 1887 and bam, 100 years later the concept of hardcore Christian rap is invented. It's like, thanks a lot, you effing butterfly.
I'm not going to let any butterfly spoil this date for me. I mean, it has been months since I've been lucky enough to meet a person like you.
Really? What kind of person do you think I am?
Viable.
Viable. Wow. The only time anyone's described me as viable is when I volunteered for a medical study about iron deficiency.
That's so funny!
Really? Why?
Because it's so obviously true.
It is. I do have low iron.
See? You're funny, you're well educated, you like animals, and you love books.
I do. I do really love books. Hey, has anyone ever seen you reading a book in public and called you an old soul?
Yes. And to be honest, you know, I love that because I do feel like I have an old soul.
Yeah, like my soul for sure gets the senior discount at Denny's.
Exactly. I just don't care about a lot of modern stuff. Phones and personal branding. Reading books on a tablet. Gross. I just want to pick up a physical book, crack open that spine, and like inhale the smell of pulp, you know?
Yes! I got kicked out of a Barnes & Noble once for sniffing a Dickens. That sounded weird.
I once got asked to leave for burying my face in a ball sack.
It's so nice to meet someone like you. You're successful, attractive, you like smelling things in public. You clearly are a winner.
Oh, thank you, Jeffrey. I don't always feel like a winner. You have to understand. I have been through a string of horrific romantic relationships. Not even relationships, more like short sexual explosions, you know? It's like I have this dumb impulse that I want my dating life to be like a bad romance novel. I know it's cliche and stupid, but I find myself falling for these attractive but emotionally withdrawn people just so I can, have a big fight with them and then we can make out on a beach during a rainstorm. I once dated this Scottish guy just so I could have sex with him in a horse stable. I keep falling for these gorgeous assholes who look like they've leapt off the cover of a Harlequin novel or an ad for shaving gel. There's all this fire and passion, but ultimately no hope for a future because they inevitably go off riding into the sunset to pursue some other great carnal adventure, and I'm left alone wondering, whoa, did I just have an affair with a minor deity from Greek mythology? Or can a human being actually be that exciting? I'm so relieved, because you don't seem like that kind of person at all.
Thanks, thank you.
Oh, you realize I meant that as a compliment.
No, absolutely, of course. Good one, good compliment.
Good evening, and welcome to Cafe Surprise, a fine dining experience in which every meal will make you say, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, but in a good way. If you're ready, I can show you to your table.
Oh, we're at a table.
Indeed you are. However, your reservations are for the table to my left, the Shangri-La.
The Shangri-La?
Yes, all of our tables are named after wonderful places. You are currently sitting in Gay Paris, but your reservations are for the Shangri-La.
Are you sure?
The reservations were made by a Ms. Miranda Falls. Is that you?
Yes.
When Ms. Falls called, she requested a table located equidistant to all 3 of our exits so she could leave as quickly as possible in any direction. I assure you, Shangri-La is our most equidistant table.
Well, now that I'm here, I prefer this table.
Quite understandable, madam, as Gay Paris is indeed a fine table. However, I must insist you sit at the table for which you are reserved so as not to disrupt the wishes of our other patrons.
We're the only patrons here.
This is a slow time for us.
It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday night in the middle of the holiday season.
Other patrons will be arriving shortly, so I must insist you sit at the correct table. Please. Please go to Shangri-La right now. Please.
All right, but this will be noted in my online review.
Of course it will. Heaven forbid we have a fleeting thought we don't post to the internet.
Hey, why is no one else here? I thought this was like a fancy exclusive place.
It should be obvious to you, of all people, sir, that we exclude no one.
No, seriously, did something happen here? Was there like an E. coli outbreak, or did the chef get caught with his hairnet down?
Please less talking, more sitting. There we go. Now, welcome, once again, to Cafe Surprise, a fine dining experience in which every meal will make you say, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, but in a good way. Tonight, our celebrated chefs are creating spontaneous new dishes using only the following random ingredients: shiitake mushrooms, mandarin oranges, hollandaise sauce, lamb cutlets, unagi, garlic cloves, tempeh patties, a dash of rosemary, a festive seasonal candy cane, and a side of something that is yellow. For those less adventurous of spirit, we also offer a cheeseburger. Might I suggest a bottle of wine while you contemplate your main entree?
Yes, we would like a big bottle of red wine.
Actually, Jeffrey, I prefer white.
Perhaps there is some confusion. This is actually not a truck stop diner in the Appalachian Mountains. So we do offer more than white or red. Our cellars are stocked with aggressive Pinot Noirs, submissive Rieslings, a New Zealand Shiraz whose grapes have been plucked by celibate Maori monks, a Chilean Sauvignon Blanc which has been fermented for longer than most American marriages last, 872 different
Don't
Merlots.
you like white wine?
No, I do. It's just that I associate red wine with, like, romance and boldness and excitement.
What wine guide did you get that from?
It's common sense. Red wine goes with, like, beef and seduction. White wine goes with chicken and sadness.
No. White wine goes with class, intelligence, sophistication.
Perhaps you'd like to compromise. I do have several surprisingly adequate rosés.
Oh, I would accept a rosé.
No, rosé is the worst. Rosé goes with, like, seafood and impotence.
Bring us something that's not red.
No, actually, I would like to make the firm choice that I will firmly make the choice.
Very well. Speaking firmly, what do you want? Red, white, or rosé?
We will have the...
Yes.
The...
Yes.
The...
Oh, for God's sake. Good evening, dearest audience, and welcome to Adventures in Mating, a theatrical distraction in which every scene will make you say, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Sometimes in a good way. I shall be your omniscient narrator, gentle guide, and boon companion. Adventures in Mating is an audience participation extravaganza in which you, the audience, play the role of cruel fate. At various intervals throughout the show, our dysfunctional little lovebirds will be faced with a decision. When such an event occurs, I shall step forward and ring my little bell. You will then vote by applauding and hooting like barn animals. The scene will continue based on your decision, and you shall witness that which you have wrought. And there is much to be wrought indeed. As you may have noticed, our story is already full of mystery and tension. Will our couple hook up, as the kids say these days? Why was Jeffrey in the hospital? How many cats does Miranda have? Why is there no one else in the restaurant? Will handcuffs be used at some point during the days? Are all snowflakes assholes? Mysteries abound! So in a way, our show is like one of those interactive murder mystery shows, except no one will die. Unless you choose one of the scenes in which someone dies. To be perfectly honest, there are several ways to kill Jeffrey or Miranda. Should you choose 3 of them, I will have to select one particular audience member and make a disparaging remark about their appearance. Which brings us to our relationship. You, the audience, and I, the waiter, will go through this ordeal of a show together, so it's probably best we get to know one another. Let's break the ice, shall we? What is your name? Sarah. Welcome to Adventures in Mating, Sarah. Do you have a fear of audience participation? You don't. You should, Sarah. You should. Sarah, what do you do for a living?
I am a stay-at-home mom.
You're a stay-at-home mom? Fantastic. I'd ask you a follow-up question, but I'm really busy right now, Sarah, and I do not care. Sarah, do you enjoy the holidays? You do. Have you ever locked yourself in a bathroom to avoid your own relatives?
Yes.
You have! We have so much in common. Sarah, has this interaction made you feel more or less comfortable with audience participation? More comfortable. That makes one of us, Sarah. It's a real nightmare for me. Let's have a round of applause for Sarah. To our show. As you may recall, our first decision is what wine to order. Shall Jeffrey concede to Miranda's wishes and order white or rosé, or shall he stand his ground and order red? You must ask yourselves what you want to see. Beef and seduction, chicken and sadness, or seafood and impotence. Please applaud for one of the following. For red wine. Reaction, you'll get used to this. For white wine. For rosé. Rosé wins. Seafood and impotence it is. You have selected scene 2.3, located on page 222 of our text script. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 2.3 is entitled, Jeffrey Dies Suddenly. Enjoy.
Rosé. But the least sad, most potent bottle of rosé you have.
I'll crush up some Viagra and put the powder in a bottle of Sutter Homes for you.
No, I changed my mind. We'll take the red.
Red it is.
No, rosé.
Very well.
No, I would like a bathroom.
Excuse me?
I need to use your bathroom. Can you keep my date company while I'm gone?
I'd rather not.
Does this have something to do with your medical condition?
Of course not. That's ridiculous. Nothing could be less true than that. I have to go. Hey, waiter! There's a piece of lettuce on the floor!
Oh my God, he's dead. Terrible holiday tragedy. Well, that's our show. Of course, I'm only joking. We've only managed to kill a character once so far. So let's go back to that last decision and see if we can figure out where we went wrong. I will once again provide you with the options. Please applaud for one of the following. For rosé, also known as the scene you just saw, that kills one of our characters. Someone almost clapped. That was for red wine. For white wine. White wine wins. Chicken and sadness it is. You have selected scene 2.2, located on page 198 of our text script. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 2.2 is entitled Horror of the White. Enjoy.
Oh, white. But the biggest, most romantic bottle of white you have.
Big, romantic, and white. I'll see if I can find a vintage fitting that description. Failing that, perhaps a jug of apple juice mixed with some vodka would do.
Thank you. That was a very good decision.
No, it wasn't. Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
It was very mature of you.
Oh, maturity. I think it's mature, but you won't like it 20 minutes from now when I'm bowing and scraping and asking your permission to go to the bathroom like I'm 4 years old.
You have to go to the bathroom? I'm confused.
I always do this on dates. I always capitulate to every random whim of an attractive person.
You think I'm attractive?
You're attractive like a boat.
What?
To me, all attractive people are like boats. And I am like a manatee. I'm all swimming underwater, and I'm like, hey, what's that exciting shiny thing up there? I'll swim over to it and see if it will give me some turtle grass or other delicious algae. And then I get closer and I realize, oh crap, it's just a speedboat that's just gonna run me over. So I turn around and I start to run away, but because I'm so big and so slow, I get cut to ribbons by the razor sharp propellers.
I don't want to cut you like a large, slow sea cow.
That's manatee?
Whatever, it's the same animal.
No, not whatever. They're not called S-cows, okay? They're called manatees. Calling them sea cow is derogatory. It's like calling an English person a limey or a Scandinavian person a... Well, I guess when you say Scandinavian, the judgment is just implied. The point is, they are called manatees, and I demand you call them by their proper name.
Your wine. Is this big enough for you, sir?
Wow, that is a lot of white.
It is a holiday special called The Ghost of Hangover Future. Shall I unscrew it, or would you find it more exciting if I smashed the neck open on the edge of the table?
Unscrewing is plenty exciting.
Shall I pour, or will you be chugging it directly from the bottle? This is a very unique wine. It is produced at a California vineyard called Grapes Died for This. The label features the oddly defensive slogan, "We're proud of what we're doing, and we're not going to stop doing it." Will this wine be doing it for you?
It's surprisingly fine. It tastes like drinking a shrugging emoji.
Yes, I'm happy I chose white of my own free will.
Are you ready to order then?
No, my date and I have a few things to get straight first. Could you come back in 2.5 minutes?
Of course. I'm happy to set my watch to your exact needs.
Look, Jeffrey, I appreciate that you're trying to impress me by proving how annoyingly assertive you are, but there are a lot of other qualities I'm looking for in a mate. Charm,
If you say good sense of humor, I'm going to start aggressively weeping.
What is wrong with a good sense of humor?
It's a fallacy, and I can prove it. When I was in high school, I had no sex, but I got more laughs than anyone else.
Well, were you getting laughs on purpose?
Sometimes.
Well, there is a difference between being an awkward, laughable teen and a sophisticated adult who knows how to inject a sense of levity into an awkward social situation, like this one, for example.
Oh, I see. So you'd like me to make a joke to cut the tension, is that it? Okay, let's see. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A man.
A man who?
A manatee, not a sea cow!
For God's sake. I'm sorry I called it a sea cow. Will you let it go?
No, how would you like it if I used insulting terminology about something you love? What if I called your cats, like, land pussies or something?
Well, I would probably laugh, which would successfully break the tension.
The tension will be broken when you say, Jeffrey, I'm sorry for using the term sea cow.
I am an editor. Sea cow is a perfectly acceptable substitution for manatee.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and be disrespected anymore. This date is over.
Oh, come on! What are you doing? I thought the date was over.
It is, but I'm still hungry, so I'll be over here in Gay Paris.
If you want to sit over there by yourself like a child, I am perfectly happy with that. I have the wine. Tastes like sadness. I don't need you. I am perfectly capable of having an interesting conversation all by myself. Do you hear me? I would rather sit and talk to myself. I talk to myself quite often, and as I often tell myself, I am quite good at it. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking to yourself. It is a perfectly healthy way to collect your thoughts. Do you hear me? I am perfectly healthy. Do you hear me? I am perfectly healthy. I don't have too many cats, and there's nothing wrong with it if they watch during sex.
Excuse me. Why are you yelling across the restaurant? And what are you doing in Gay Paris?
Our date didn't work out, so I'll be dining over here.
No, you will not. Please return to Shangri-La.
Look, Jeffrey, I really need to have a nice, normal date. Will you please come back here and stop embarrassing yourself?
I don't think I'm embarrassing myself. I happen to think I'm embarrassing both of us.
For God's sake. Will you come back here if I apologize?
Yes, I will.
Okay, then, I will. I am sorry.
Well,
I apologize.
for God's sake. C. Shall Miranda swallow her pride and apologize, or shall she refuse, possibly dooming herself to a night alone with her cats? Please applaud for one of the following. For apologizing. For not apologizing. Apologizing it is. You have selected scene 3.1, located on page 302 of our text script. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 3.1 is entitled Casual Chat of Doom. Enjoy.
I will apologize.
Okay.
I am sorry that you were under the impression that I did or said something to upset you that would give me legitimate cause to say the three most important words in any relationship, I am sorry. It must be very difficult for you to live with the level of insecurity that would cause us both to be in this situation, and for that, I'm truly sorry.
I'm not sure if that was
I just said I'm sorry in 3 different ways. Meet me halfway.
Okay, fine. I accept your attempt at an apology.
Thank you.
Now, are you ready to order?
Yes, I'm sorry. What was on the menu again?
Here at Cafe Surprise, we have 2 options. You may have a gourmet dish comprised of random ingredients spontaneously concocted by our award-winning chefs, or a cheeseburger.
And what was in the gourmet dish again?
Shiitake mushrooms, mandarin oranges, hollandaise sauce, lamb cutlets, unagi, garlic cloves, tempeh patties, a dash of rosemary, a festive seasonal candy cane, and a side of something that is yellow.
I'll have that, but hold the shiitake mushrooms, hollandaise sauce, lamb cutlets, garlic cloves, unagi, tempeh patties, the rosemary, the candy cane, and the yellow thing.
You do realize you just ordered 1 mandarin orange?
Yes, I know what I want in life.
And you want to come to an expensive restaurant with a kitchen full of incredibly well-paid gourmet chefs and have them put a tiny orange on a plate for you.
I'm not a monster. I'd like them to peel it for me.
1 peeled orange. And for you, sir.
What's in the gourmet dish?
Son of a shiitake mushrooms, mandarin oranges, hollandaise sauce, lamb cutlets, unagi, garlic cloves, tempeh patties, a dash of rosemary, a festive seasonal candy cane, and a side of something that is yellow.
I'll have the cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger. And how would you like that? Rare, medium, or well done?
Well, I don't want it bloody, but I also don't want it burned.
Shall Jeffrey's burger be rare, medium, or well done? Just shout it out like animals.
Rare.
Rare. Rare. And what kind of cheese would you like? Cheddar, Swiss, smoked Gouda, Oregonian Tillamook, reduced fat, Alpine lace?
I love cheese, so this might take a while.
What kind of cheese? Smoked Gouda. Smoked Gouda. What kind of bun would you like? White wheat, cracked wheat, French loaf, Kaiser roll.
Is the cracked wheat stone ground?
What kind of bun? Kaiser roll.
Kaiser roll.
Kaiser roll. What kind of side would you like? We have soup, salad, or waffle fries.
Ooh, this one's a thinker.
For the love of God, do not say salad. We have over 15 different kinds of salad dressing. Waffle.
Salad.
Salad. Yep. What kind of salad dressing would you like?
What do you have?
French, ranch, balsamic, blue cheese, Italian, Thousand Island, 2,000 Island, pumpkin spice ranch, Frosty, the snow fat French, jingle balsamic, Ebenezer Caesar.
You know something? I think I'll have the waffle fries after all.
The waffle fries. Is there anything else I can recite for you? The Pledge of Allegiance? The Mueller Report? And the iTunes user agreement?
You know, I've never read the whole thing and it makes me really nervous.
No. That will be all.
I certainly hope so.
So, Jeffrey, are you always this indecisive?
No. Yes, maybe? I don't know. I don't even know what I want anymore. Look, I'm sorry. I should not have demanded an apology. It was rude and childish of me. I'm just going through a lot.
Well, yeah, you are, but so are a lot of people.
Are you going through something right now?
Why do you ask?
Well, because you seem willing to put up with a lot from a blind date.
Well, I need this date to work out.
Yeah, but why? Why do you need this particular date to work out so badly?
I'm a very organized person. I was born 3 days after my due date, and that was the last time I arrived anywhere late. I edit books for a living, and my professional life is a tight little 3-word sentence. Miranda does well, period. In contrast, my personal life is a hideous run-on sentence, full of mixed tenses, inappropriate commas, and confused gerunds. In this sentence, it is not clear who is the subject, myself, or the string of improper pronouns dangling their pathetic little participles all the way through my past, present, future, and future perfect. I need my personal life to be a tight little 3-word sentence. I need it to end in a period and not a,
Ellipsis?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. But I've never really seen myself as a period. I'm much more of a combination question mark exclamation point.
If I have to, I will settle for an interrobang.
Cool. I think we could all use an interrobang from time to time. But why do you need one now?
So my father is a lawyer and my mother is a doctor. I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and they all have beautiful, perfect, wealthy life partners. And adorable children that look like they were created with illegal genetic manipulation. And they all have a socially acceptable number of cats and dogs. One of them has a parrot, but that's as exotic as they get. Now, we're all getting together for the big family Christmas party, and I do not want to suffer one more moment of them judging me with their eyes. Even the parrot does it. So, I'm determined to show up with at least a half-assed viable potential mate on my arm, or I'm gonna burn my sister's house down.
Okay, that's totally understandable. Even the arson, it's like a big Yule log. All totally reasonable. But when is the family reunion?
Tomorrow?
Okay, look, Miranda, I want the date to go well too, but I don't want to rush into a relationship or a building that you might burn down.
No, of course not. And the last thing I want to do is rush into a relationship. I mean, you seem viable now, but it can take months to truly get to know someone.
Yeah, months or even years. And even after all that time, you think you know someone and some weird thing pops up like a fear of mushrooms or genital warts. Not that I have either of those 2 things.
What if we accelerated the getting to know you timetable? What if we just told each other every horrible little truth that it would normally take us months to discover?
So, you don't want me to be first date Jeffrey, you want me to be like 6 months into the relationship Jeffrey?
Exactly. We'll get it all out on the table now. You'll have your cheeseburger. I'll have my mandarin orange. If things go really well, you can come back to my place for a glass of wine that doesn't taste like rat poison and, you know, meet the cats.
Is that a euphemism?
It could be. What do you say?
Let's do this.
Okay. So, brutal honesty. I sometimes drink too much wine.
I lied. I am afraid of mushrooms. They're a fungus and they have no place in my mouth.
I sometimes listen to public radio while having sex.
I didn't have sex till I was 28.
I have had sex with well over 28 people, just while listening to public radio.
I really don't have genital warts.
Neither do I.
I can hold entire conversations using only dialogue from Star Wars movies.
Oh, I have never seen Star Wars.
No! That's impossible!
Is that a line from Star Wars?
Yes.
I prefer Lord of the Rings.
I have underwear with Gollum on the crotch and he's saying, "My precious."
Once in high school, I got an A- and I cried for a week.
I once went a week without crying.
I talk to myself.
I snore.
I talk in my sleep.
I have a recurring nightmare in which a giant mushroom tries to sit on my face.
Once when I was 14, I got kicked out of Sunday school for stealing 5 bottles of communion wine.
The mushroom chased me inside of a house and we had to be roommates on a reality television show.
My favorite holiday movie is Love Actually.
Mine is Die Hard 2. How could the same thing happen to the same guy 2 Christmases in a row? It makes you think.
Oh, whenever I get my hair cut, I keep the pieces that have been cut in a little bag in my dresser drawer.
Sometimes, as an adult, I have done some role-playing.
Oh, so have I.
No, I mean like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
I would dress up like Gandalf if you asked me to.
I won't.
Okay.
I have never been this honest with another human being.
I have never, while sober, been this honest with another human being.
Anything else I should know about you? Anything horrible? Anything at all?
Wasn't that enough?
Well, that was a painful amount of honesty. Thank you.
No, thank you. Anything else you would like to share?
No, that's it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How many cats do you have?
Oh, right. That. Okay, Jeffrey, here's the truth. I'm very sensitive about my kitties. My family have often mocked me for my feline-centric life choices. So, I would really love to tell you about my cats, but I'm taking a huge chance opening up like this. So, I need you to be sensitive and understanding.
I hear what you're saying.
Good. I am the proud mother of many cats. Here are their pictures. They're in alphabetical order. Algernon, Beatrice, Cadwallader, Dewey Decimal, Elise, Frida Catlow, Gregory, Hester Purrin, Ignatius, Jasmine, Kilroy, Lawrence of Catrabia, Mr. Darcy, Mr. Sissy Pussy, Mr. Whiskers, Nolan, Ophelia, Quixote, Richard III, Sammy Sammers, the Sam Cat, Tess, Uncle Kitty, Virginia, Xavier, Yo-Yo Ma, and Zelda. Now, sadly, Chairman Meow, he died last week. He was a little overweight, and when he jumped off the sofa, the weight of his girth just snapped his little spine. It's still hard for me to talk about.
I hear what you're saying.
So right now, I have a total of 27 cats. Now, most people would think that living with 27 cats who are not declawed in a 2-bedroom apartment, the majority of which is furnished with various wooden shelves and stands from IKEA, would make for a chaotic existence. But those people do not understand the instructive power of the water bottle. I have a water bottle stashed on every bookshelf, coffee table, corner hutch, plant stand, spice rack, folding futon, and rolling kitchen cart. Now, on the off chance that one of my kitties disobeys me, I squirt them within an inch of one of their 9 lives. I've trained them all to think of being damp as a social stigma. Last year, I squirted the living daylights out of Mr. Sissy Pussy. He was repeatedly batting his ball of yarn out the window, and he ran back to the herd, soaking wet, and they ostracized him for a week. It was fascinating.
I hear what you're saying.
They're good kitties most of the time. We play all sorts of games together. Their favorite is hide from the landlord. I yell, hide from the landlord! Hide from the landlord! And they all go scampering off into their little predetermined hiding places. Did you just take out your phone while I was telling you about my cats?
Yes, but in my defense, it was only because you wouldn't let me talk, so I couldn't. Why are you spraying me?
You were listening to me.
No, I was multitasking.
Naughty kitty. Naughty kitty.
I'm not a naughty kitty. I'm not spraying your drapes or humping your scratching post. I just needed to look at my phone.
I was trying to share something special with you. How would you like it if I interrupted you all the time?
I apologize. Now, that's really mature. There's a reason. Damn it, will you just listen to me?
I was trying to have a nice, normal date, and now you're all damn.
Yeah, well, that wasn't my choice.
Now I'm all worked up and I'm tempted to do stupid romance novel stuff.
Like what?
I'm either gonna kiss you or slap you.
Now this is the kind of decision we've been waiting for. Let's see what kind of audience we really have here. Let's hear from the sadists first, shall we? By applause, who would like to see Miranda slap Jeffrey? Me too. Let's hear from the voyeurs now. By applause, who would like to see Miranda kiss Jeffrey? I think this is too important of a decision to be left to the masses. So I'll need one person to make this choice for us. You look very responsible. Please choose someone else to make this choice. Sarah. We're going to be such good friends at the end of this show. Sarah, do you have a favorite holiday movie?
I do, but I would like to clarify one thing. When I said I locked myself in the bathroom, it was not for his relatives.
Did you know your daughter-in-law's a liar? You do now. Now back to my question. Do you have a favorite holiday movie?
Yes, let's go with National Lampoon at Christmas.
An excellent choice. I'm not going to make fun of you any further, Sarah. Well done. Watch out for that one. Sarah, would you like to see Miranda slap Jeffrey, kiss Jeffrey, or both?
Both.
Both it is. Another round of applause. Sarah, I'm going to be very blunt with you. You have chosen poorly. You have selected scene 4.1, located on page 422 of our technical script. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 4.1 is entitled Little Lips of Horror. Enjoy, Sarah.
That was incredible. Ah! What'd you do that for?
I don't want all this. I don't want all the kissing and the slapping and the drama. I just want a nice normal day.
Normal? You just tried to modify my behavior by spraying me with a water bottle.
Don't talk to me anymore. This date is over. I'm going to Gay Parody.
Oh, for God's sake, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I looked at my phone, but it's not my fault.
Is your hand possessed? Are you being controlled by a ghost that loves Instagram?
No!
Do you have a head injury?
No, this is just what my head is shaped like.
Are your parents related?
I never asked because I'm afraid of the answer.
Then what is the problem?
My testicle! My testicle's the problem! It never descended! Are you happy now?
I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry too.
I'm also not quite sure I understand what that means.
One of my testicles never descended, which is really bad for you, so I had to have it surgically removed when I was 14. So now I only have one, so I don't produce enough testosterone, so I have to take hormone pills, all right? That's why I was at the hospital. I've been upset lately, so I haven't been taking my pills, so things have gotten all out of whack, and they had to give me this giant shot of testosterone, and it makes my behavior all erratic. Does that answer all your questions?
So, when you say giant shot, do you mean both the quantity of the testosterone and the size of the needle?
Yes. You could barely even call it a needle. It was more like a meat thermometer.
And you got that shot right before you came here?
Yes, in my left shoulder, which is the same side as my bad clavicle.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
What the hell did you do that for? I just wanted to make sure you weren't lying.
You couldn't have asked?
Why did this come up during our brutal honesty session?
It's not the kind of thing I want to talk about on a blind date.
That was the point! To get past crap like this. Didn't all of my honesty make you feel comfortable enough to share this?
You keep telling me you want to date a nice, normal person. I wasn't dying to tell you I produce half the sperm of a normal guy.
So what? You can't have babies?
Yes, I can have babies. For us to get pregnant, we just have to have twice the sex. But you know I'd be okay with that. It's not my fault. It's the hormones talking.
Is it really?
I don't know. I'm very confused. I just want to be a normal, nice, normal weirdo who sits around thinking about manatees and smelling books. But society
this has to do with you taking out your phone while I was telling you about my cats?
I was checking the time to see if I had to take some follow-up hormone pills that the hospital gave me. I'm sorry.
Look, Jeffrey, I can see that you're having a hard time. I just want you to be yourself.
I don't want me to be myself most days. I find it hard to believe why you would.
Jeffrey, I like you. I really, really do. You read books on purpose. And when you're a jackass, you acknowledge it and apologize almost immediately. I mean, those two things alone put you so much higher on the evolutionary scale than most people out there. Regardless of your testicle count.
Well, thanks. And I really was listening about your cats.
Thanks. I just get very upset with phones interrupting live human interactions.
Yeah, me too.
Now, is there anything else you're not telling me?
Nothing else I can think of. Certainly nothing else weird about my body. I've got 2 of everything else. Except for the things I'm only supposed to have 1 of. I don't have 2 hearts like Doctor Who.
Okay, Jeffrey, you have 2 choices. You can either keep talking about Doctor Who, or you can kiss me. Are you serious?
Of course not, I'm just joking. Seriously though, I do want to kiss you, but before I do, I want to take the risk of saying something.
What?
Thanks for giving me a chance.
Well, technically, I've given you a few chances.
Okay, let's stop talking
Okay,
now.
grab the mistletoe.
Excuse me? Excuse me! Pull your faces apart! This is the dining room of a gourmet restaurant, not Studio 69 or whatever the hell it's called. And you may not sit in Gay Paris. I have just received a text and other customers will be arriving shortly. Please return to your seats. Now! Now, I am a service industry professional. I pride myself on my patience, but you two have truly put the weight into waiter. If you wish to be served, you will remain seated in Shangri-La. You will be quiet and respectful. Why is what I believe to be the London Symphony Orchestra emanating from your pants?
It's just my phone.
Why is it making a noise?
The silence function is broken?
Are you going to answer it?
No, I don't want to talk to this person.
How do you know who it is?
I have different ringtones for different people, and this is the Imperial March from The Empire Strikes Back.
And whose ringtone is that?
No one important, it's just, my wife.
What?
Answer the damn thing, or turn it off.
If you don't answer it, I will.
Well?
Oh, yeah!
Oh my God. Well, dearest audience, the fate of our obnoxious couple hangs in the balance. The phone will be answered. The question is, by whom? Please applaud for Jeffrey answering the phone. For Miranda answering. Now applaud for me.
Yeah!
You want me to answer the phone? Clearly, you're too drunk with power, and you need some more time to think this decision through. Perhaps you'd be more clear-headed if you were also clear-bodied, so I invite you to use our restrooms during intermission and relieve yourselves of your poor decision so far tonight. Now, type person, please increase the volume of the music to generate a sense of excitement, and then fade the lights on me to create a sense of tension and mystery. On the count of 3. A 1, a 2, a 3.
Yay!
Woo! Yay! Act 1! Okay, so Bobby, I'm going to throw it to you first. Director's cut. Anything about Act 1 you want the audience to know? Anything that occurred to you?
I think nothing nothing that jumped out at me. The biggest thing is the cast did such a good job, and I was so pleased the whole time, not overdoing the jokes. And what I mean by that is just playing the honesty and playing the earnesty of the moments. Like, for example, the cat scrapbook, just how honest and earnest Siri was, and Ben's testicle monologue, like just how like it was about like, the testicle never dropped, and that's and that's I think where comedy comes from. It's not people like waka waka. Here's why this is funny. It's like the honesty of it, and I was so happy with how the cast did that. So that was my takeaway from watching this again, was just how much more fun it is when the cast is just earnesty. Yeah, sorry.
Me too. So
earnestness, honesty. But just the cast's honesty with the jokes is perfect.
Yeah. You guys, was it everything you remember? What were some funny stories or things that occurred to you while you were watching?
It was honestly exactly as I remember. I mean, it was only a year ago, but like what a year.
Yeah.
So, but no, I found myself like, I think I even wrote in the chat, like there were I was having sensory experiences that were the same, down to the like comfortable ones, like those chairs, very comfortable, but also some uncomfortable ones, like because of the amount of liquid we had to consume. So yeah, it was exactly as I remember.
Was that diluted juice, you guys?
What was it?
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Oh, those like droplets?
Yeah, it was those little juicy, what are those things called?
What are they called? Ios
like,
or whatever? The like
Mio drop.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the right word. There you go.
Yeah, and so for the white wine, I only needed a few drops, but for the red wine, I had to put a bunch in. And I remember the red wine, Siri confirmed, it was very, very sweet and hard to drink.
Oh, okay, good work.
Yeah.
Yuck. Okay, what else? Tell me what else that you sort of like behind the music stuff. Yeah, Ben.
I had no idea until I watched this. Maybe I was sleeping during rehearsal when this was talked about, but I had no idea that Patrick did that lean out, almost ring the bell thing.
Oh, really?
When we were deciding whether or not to kiss. Yeah, I had no idea that was happening.
I was holding on for dear life to the set, because I was for real, like cliffhanger, holding on and leaning out.
Then you only listen to the director for you. Is that what I'm understanding?
What's that?
Yeah.
You only listen to the things that pertain to you.
Yeah.
During the rehearsal process.
Siri just mentioned that was written in the script, but I only read my stuff. I don't read anyone else's.
You only read your lines.
Great.
Yeah, you barely read your stuff, Dan. Let's be clear.
Yeah, just one time through, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Explains a lot.
Did drinking that much wine ever make you? Because you were pregnant at this time. Were you out of the nauseous phase by this point?
Yeah, by this point, as you may recall, during rehearsals, I was definitely still in nauseous time. But by the end of the show, especially because this weekend was the last show, so I was pretty not sick anymore. But being pregnant is not physically comfortable, so I still wasn't feeling great. And I had a lot of heartburn.
Because I remember there were a couple of rehearsals where you laid on the couch at our rehearsal space, and we did a line run through, because if you got on your feet and did anything, that it wouldn't have ended well. So
guys.
Which I'll tell you what though, it was helpful though, because doing line throughs of the show was more helpful than being on our feet sometimes, which is not always the case for a show.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. There's not a huge amount of blocking, I suppose. Like a lot of times, especially the couple, you guys do some sitting.
I'm noticing this time around, or remembering, I guess, sort of, and you guys can back me up on this, sort of the musicality that comes with doing a show like this. Certainly there's obviously the improv parts and there's some side parts, but we all sort of have these monologues that we have to sort of put to a rhythm, otherwise we'll just never get through it. And so it's sort of like doing a tap dance, and it all came flooding back watching it this time around.
Oh, that's super fun.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so before we
I
go,
had that too. No, go.
Oh, sorry. Latency. Okay. Before we get any further, I just want to say, before Siri tells a story, if there's anybody in the audience who has a question or wants to throw out a comment, go ahead and throw it into the chat and we will pull your comment or question in. So while Siri is telling this story, think of what you want to ask. Okay, tell us your story, Siri.
Oh, I was just gonna, just off what Patrick was saying, that like, that's part of what, in watching it, part of what just came flooding back, that it all sounded, as I remembered it, like a song, that we had these rhythms, and I was like, yes, that is how that sounds. And not just stuff that I memorized and said, but everyone else. I'm like, yes, this tune. Yes, I know this. Because we all have so many lists. There's so many lists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which all that was sort of necessary to have.
Yeah. For sure. There's so many lists and there's so many quick back and forths, and there's so many like really, really fast and then slow down monologues, and the blocking for sure didn't help. I know that when I learn a show, like having the blocking in my body while I'm doing it is very helpful. But with this show, because of how minimal the blocking was, like you had to figure out other ways to memorize and to keep those things in your brain. Especially for things like Rosé that you didn't do very much. So like there are scenes that you did like twice, and just having to recall the song, that particular song, and flip through your CDs real quick to get to that song, I thought was super impressive.
Okay, I have a question.
There were definitely things there were definitely scenes like in the dressing room that we were like, we haven't done this one in a while, like let's run it just in case.
Yeah,
I feel like Rosé was one of those, like every show we were like, maybe, do you remember this one?
Yeah, I don't think I've run a show backstage as much as I did with this one, because we were always trying to keep those scenes fresh in our head that we don't do very often. So
yeah. Did you guys, question for Perrin and Patrick, was there, when Patrick, you say things like scene 2.3, what, I don't remember what it was, Jeffrey dies suddenly, are those actually correlated in the script? Like, is Perrin looking at 2.3, or is that not, it's just in the script?
They are. They're absolutely correlated. And Patrick was so graceful with, that was kind of like a moment, and I'll let Patrick also speak on this too, but it was a moment for us to be like, are you good? I'm good. Should we go? Great, let's do this. So it was definitely very helpful for me to find where we're going, or just buy me enough time to flip through the pages and punch in the cues.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that it was a moment. I would like to think that we both knew where we were at the time in the show, but it was a moment because I've never had a relationship like that with a stage manager during a show, right? Because usually it's the cast and you just trust that the stage manager knows what they're doing. But Perrin knew what she was doing. It was more for me sometimes, to be honest, to be like, Perrin, I need a second. I'm going to look at you for a little bit. and then on my cue, we're going to go. It was almost as though I was calling the show sometimes for me in that moment, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
It was,
Go ahead, Perrin was so that she would, even though she knew what was next for the most part, she would react to Patrick. Like she was like, oh, okay, and like flip through the script and like be a part of the show. It was so amazing to see that too.
That's great.
Perrin was a rock star stage manager for the show because she was basically a character in a show as well.
For sure.
Being a stage manager, and she was always, like I was saying, she was always that touch point for me to go, cool, I can reset for a second. This is my North Star, and we're ready to go.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that means the world.
Oh, okay. Let's see what was Soph's question. Soph says, for Ben and Bobby, in what ways did having the other person's role in the previous round make it easier or harder? So context, like I said before, we did do this in sort of a workshop form, if we're honest, in the Friends of Friends series a couple of years before that. Bobby and I played the couple on the date. Patrick was the iconic waiter and Ben directed. So what was that like, you guys, to flip those roles? Did it make it easier or harder?
Well, I'll go first. I didn't really remember a whole lot from our when we did it.
How dare you?
Well, it was only a 1 weekend thing. I think we only did it 3 times.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
did
right?
it. It was only 1 weekend.
And we didn't rehearse that many times. I mean, we rehearsed over a month, and because the schedules didn't work very well, I don't think we rehearsed it that much. But I did remember when I saw this at the Fringe Festival when they did the original Adventures in Mating. So I did sort of have I had that in my head when we were rehearsing this on how Joe Scrimshaw played this part, and so I did have to, like, I didn't remember specifics, but I remembered the general feel, and I used that to sort of help shape what I wanted to do in this one, and yeah.
Great. I made no impact on Ben during my performance.
I mean, honestly,
for me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, for me, there were multiple times where I wanted to give Ben a note to do it more like the way I remember I did it in the show, because I remember getting a laugh for that particular way or just that particular nuance. I remember getting laughs, but I had to kind of stifle that and trust Ben, because I absolutely trust Ben, and the choices that he made were like head and shoulders above anything that I would have come up with or anything that I did in that original show that I would have told him to do. So it just kind of goes back to trusting your cast, and you can only give them so much, but just knowing that they got it. And so I didn't really have an issue with that at all. Like, when I played this part, I did it this way. There was never really any of that.
Well, and Bobby and I kind of grew up together a little bit. I mean, we met when we were 18 and 19 years old or whatever, 19 and 20. And so I think our senses of humor are very, very similar already.
I would concur.
So that, it wasn't too tricky.
Yeah, that's great.
I'd add on to that a little bit because I did. Well, Chris has a question too.
Oh, did you ever fudge the results? Is this what you're going to say?
Well, no. So the answer to your question, Chris, is yes, I did absolutely do that sometimes, depending on that particular day, of if I wanted a 2-hour show or an hour and a half show. But what I was going to say was that doing the show, having done the show twice now, with 2 totally different casts other than me, it was weird because I had to absolutely just forget everything I knew and build again, because every choice I made affected them differently, and every choice they made affected me differently. So it was a fully different show to memorize this time around.
Oh yeah. Well, and I was watching it felt like a totally different show to me. I mean, there are moments that you see that have deep similarity, but it felt like a totally different show. Watching.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so you did fudge the audience results every once in a while?
I don't know if I fudged it, but if it was close enough and I was feeling a
Yeah.
particular way that day, I was like, I'm going to go with what I want to do because there are scenes that I like doing better.
Yeah.
And if it's close enough, I'll do that scene instead.
You know what?
So I
Like
did have
this prerogative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I did try really hard to be honest to the audience. I tried.
I love it. Okay, you guys, so we don't keep this like the length of Gone with the Wind. Shall we start with Act 2? Let's do it. So stick around. Are we coming back together at the end of the show? Is that the plan? Okay, so we'll come back together at the end of the show. Final thoughts, and we'll all say goodnight. Sound good? Okay, I hope you got your popcorn popped, everybody. Here we go. Onward with Act 2. Lights, please.
Welcome back to Adventures in Mating. Did anyone sneak in a drink during intermission? I've had several. I'm not going to stop. In an effort to increase the frivolity of the show, I am now wearing a hat. After all, the holidays are meant to be a peaceful respite from the maddening tempo of modern life, a light in the proverbial darkness, and I hope me wearing this hat can provide that feeling for all of you. Now, as you may remember, we just left off on an exciting romantic comedy cliffhanger. We have just discovered that Jeffrey has a wife of some kind, and she is currently calling this dumb man on his smartphone. The question is, who shall answer? Jeffrey, Miranda, or myself? Please applaud for one of the following. For Jeffrey, answering the phone. Fine. All right. For Miranda, answering the phone. Answering the phone. Whoever answers the phone, it is. You have selected scene 5.3, located on page 502 of our text script. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 5.3 is entitled, It Was the Worst of Times. It was the worst of times. Enjoy. Hello. I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Goodbye. Now, as I was saying, I am a service industry professional. It is my job to facilitate your culinary decisions. It is not my job to repeatedly tell you to sit where you're supposed to and to keep your tongues in your own mouths, like a youth guidance counselor at a Randy summer camp. Now, is there anything food or drink related that I can do for you?
Yes, I think you should bring us the check.
Very well. The customer is always right.
No, we don't want the check. We want another bottle of wine. We would like the most expensive bottle of white wine you have.
Very well. The other customer is always right.
I want the check.
I want another bottle of wine.
Clearly, both customers cannot be right at the same time.
I'll give you a 25% tip if you bring us the check right now.
If you bring us the wine, I will give you all the cash I have on me, which is 2 dimes and a nickel.
So, 25% or 25 cents?
I can also get you a discount on goldfish.
Is that a dating app?
Just bring us the wine. I'll take it to go.
An excellent compromise. I will hold on to your 25 cents just in case.
Hey. Did you put on a Santa hat at some point?
No. I have always been wearing this hat, and you were too blind to see it.
Well, Jeffrey, thank you. This has truly been an evening to forget. I suggest we sit in awkward silence until the waiter returns with my expensive wine.
Oh, come on. I'm sorry I never mentioned being married and having only one testicle. They're just weird things to blurt out on a first date. Especially together. Hi, I have an ex-wife and only one ball. Makes it sound like I lost it in a divorce.
So are you still married or not?
It's over for me. I signed the divorce papers.
Well, then why is she calling you?
I don't know, and I don't want to.
Well, I don't like not knowing things. Call her back.
No, I don't want to call her. I just want to go on a nice effing date where I behave like a strong, confident human and don't make a complete ass of myself. Why is that so hard?
Excuse me. 25 cents did not buy you the right to bellow in the restaurant.
You know something? I'm getting real sick and tired of being yelled at by you. Who do you think you are, anyway?
I am the waiter. In the dining area, my word is law.
Okay, weird, but also the waiter, that's not your actual legal name, is it?
Perhaps.
Aren't servers supposed to have, like, name tags or something?
Yeah, you know what? For once my date is right. I need to know things about you for my online review.
Yeah, hey, what's the deal here? Are you trying to hide something?
Yeah, tell us your name or I'll report this place to the health inspector.
For what?
There's a piece of lettuce on the floor over there. That could kill somebody.
I wish.
Come on, what's your name? I bet it's something stuffy like Algernon or Cadwallader or something.
Well, it's... Clearly, I have no intention of telling these deviant weirdos my actual name, so you will help me lie to them. Shall my name be Algernon or Cadwallader? Just shout it out. Cadwallader.
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 And tell me, Cadwallader, would you go on a date with a married person?
Yes or no?
Yes.
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 And philosophically speaking, do you believe in free will, or are we all the victims of cruel fate?
Cruel fate. Cruel fate. Cruel fate. Well, that's me. My name is Cadwallader. I apparently date married people, and I believe strongly in cruel fate. And that is all there is to know about me. So if you'll excuse me, I shall be in the kitchen. I'm not imagining that, am I?
I think it's coming from her. Are you projecting cat meows into our minds?
It's just an alert I set on my phone.
What is it reminding you to do? Relieve yourself into a box of sand?
No. It's just a reminder that I need to feed my cats.
Are they waiting outside? Can you command them like a feral army?
No. My apartment is just around the corner. That's why I made reservations for this restaurant. It's not wise to be so far away from your apartment when you have 27 cats.
27!
Are you coming back?
Oh, to be honest, I'm not sure yet.
Oh, come on. Don't leave me hanging like this.
Oh, if you get lonely, you can always call your wife.
One down, one to go.
That reminds me, gotta take my pill.
What is that for?
I only have one testicle. It's a whole thing.
Please keep the wine in your mouth. That's not something I normally have to tell a customer.
It's the pill. I think it's caught my windpipe. Spit it out. Try to get free.
For God's sake, I will Heimlich you, you stupid little incompetent.
I got this. I can Heimlich myself.
Are you sure that's what you want? Well, dearest audience, you know the drill. Shall Jeffrey Heimlich himself? Or shall I, an experienced master of the Heimlich maneuver, save this man from choking on his own hubris? Please applaud for one of the following. I think I know where this is going. For me, performing the Heimlich maneuver. Smart people here. For Jeffrey, performing the Heimlich maneuver. Sick bastard. You have selected scene 6.1, located on page 666 of our text script. Scene 6.1 is entitled Blockage of Doom. Enjoy.
I got this.
is our show. Only joking, you have only killed a character twice in our show so far. So let's go back to that last decision and see if we can figure out where we went wrong. I will once again provide you with the options. Please applaud for one of the following. For me performing the Heimlich maneuver. For Jeffrey not performing the Heimlich maneuver. It means the same thing. Let's do it. You have selected scene 6.2, located on page 667 of our text script. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 6.2 is entitled Faster Waiter, Kill, Kill. Enjoy. I will show you how this is done. It is a simple matter of quick alternating blows and thrusts. Blow and thrust! Blow and thrust! Blow and thrust! Blow and thrust!
What the hell is going on?
He was choking on his testosterone. I've said that many times as a metaphor. This time it was literally true. So I saved him, which I hope will be reflected on my gratuity.
Here, have a seat. Sit down. Here, have a sip of wine.
Thank you so much.
Are you all right?
Physically, yes, but emotionally, no. I saw my life flash before my eyes.
Well, from what I know about your life, that must have been very disturbing.
It really, really was.
Excuse me. I understand you feel that as customers you are entitled to the restaurant version of diplomatic immunity and do not wish to be chided for your egregious behavior. However, I must remind you both to sit quietly. No fighting, no groping, no near-death experiences. Other patrons will be arriving shortly.
You keep saying that other patrons will be arriving shortly. When?
They will be here any second. Literally any second. 1/60th of a minute.
I don't believe you!
Well, watch the door and prepare to feel stupid because they will be here any second. Any second now. Dearest audience, I am afraid I must ask for your help. We do not have the money in our meager theatrical budget to pay 2 actors to play random restaurant guests with no lines. Would 2 of you please volunteer to have a seat on our stage? It requires no acting experience and you won't be made fun of for the most part. We've got quite a few hands. There's 1 and 2 right over here. Let's have a round of applause for them. Another legal battle. All right, right this way. Hello, right over here, right over here. What are your names?
I'm Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Alex.
Allison and Alex. That'll be easy to remember. Allison and Alice. Here's what I want you to do. In just a moment, I'm going to bring you backstage. When you hear me say, "Oh look, more patrons," I want you to enter the restaurant. I will greet you, I will seat you at a table, and I will chat with you. And then I will leave you alone with Jeffrey and Miranda. Now this is very important. While I am gone, do not engage in conversation with Jeffrey or Miranda. They are like animals in a zoo. Do not feed them, do not poke them, do not use flash photography when taking pictures of them. They do not know they are in a play. If they found out, our worlds would collide and there would be much existential wailing and gnashing of teeth. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions? Let's do this. Come right with me. Stand right here. All right. Here we go. Oh, look! More patrons! Good evening. Come right in. Oh, so fast! I'm just going to close the door. Apparently some of us were born in a barn. I believe you have a reservation for Gay Perry, but if you would like, you could sit at our other fine table, romantically codenamed Mrs. Claus's Chalet. Which table would you like?
Should we take that one?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Follow me, please. Please have a seat. Good evening and welcome to Cafe Surprise, a fine dining experience in which every meal will make you say, "Whoa, I wasn't expecting that," but in a good way. Might I start you with a bottle of wine? Red, white, or rosé? Which would you like?
Red.
Red! Wasn't that easy? I'll be right back with your red wine.
So how are your cats?
Agitated. They can smell an outsider on me.
That's fair. If I ever have a cologne named after me, it would probably be called Agitation.
That's funny. Not enough so that I'm laughing, but enough that I'm remarking on it.
I'll take that as a win. So why did you come back? Did it seem like the romance novel thing to do, or is there still hope for this date?
This might be all the wine I drank talking, but I want to make this work.
Listen to the wine.
I don't know if I can trust you, though. I mean, you are only just barely holding it together in life, even physically. If I bring you to my family's Christmas party, I'm afraid you're going to have a psychosomatic reaction to the song Little Drummer Boy and start beating the hell out of the tree or something.
I know. I've been a mess tonight, both mentally and physically, but I'm in much better shape than you'd think. Constantly being curled into a ball weeping is a great cardio workout for your core. I'll prove it to you. I'll drop down and give you 20 push-ups right here, right now, if that's what it takes.
You really will, won't you?
Yes, I will. It'll probably piss off the waiter.
You know what? He has been so rude. At this point, I consider that a bonus. Let's do this. Drop down and give me 20. 1.
Yeah.
2.
Yep.
3.
Yeah.
You're exercising. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't care what you call it. If it looks like it needs a safe word, you can't Please, return to your seats now. Oh my God. Wait here. I will deal with you in a minute. I lied to you. I need you to do just a little acting. Now, when I ring my bell again, I want you to pretend to be offended by these dum-dums over here and return to your seats angrily, but safely in the audience.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay, great. Here's your question. Let's have a round of applause for them now. Do this thing.
Our date was ruined because of these two. Oh my God!
I ran right through a wall. You have chased them away. Are you proud of yourselves? Now, I have endured a ridiculous amount of degradation in my career as a waiter. I once had to fish an old man's glass eye out of a bowl of pearl onion soup. I once assisted a woman give birth to twins while she was sitting on top of a lazy Susan, and I only received a 5% tip. But you two have placed an order for the proverbial cake. You have transformed a simple date into the social equivalent of two gladiators whacking swords. Your rude, obnoxious behavior is enough to make even the Grinch who stole Christmas turn away from the spectacle as if to say, was that really necessary? What do you have to say for yourselves?
Look, blind dates are really hard, okay?
This is a blind date? What kind of emotionally stunted idiot would set the two of you up on a blind date?
It was a mutual friend named
Elaine.
What?
What?
Are you two even supposed to be on this date together?
Yes. I wrote down the details. Saturday, 8 p.m., Cafe Sunrise.
Cafe Sunrise is a greasy diner 2 blocks south of here. This is Cafe Surprise. Surprise!
Crap, I went to the wrong restaurant? Again?
If you're not supposed to be here, then where is my actual date?
It would appear they stood you up. A wise decision.
You know what? I have just about had it with your rude, smart-ass comments, and I'm going to tell the world about it in the form of a hateful online review.
Please be my guest. But I must warn you, the competition is steep. If you Google waiter plus asshole, you will literally find a picture of me. You will also find hundreds of reviews about my rude behavior. That's why there's no one else in the restaurant, because other people actually bothered to read the reviews before they came in. Reviews describing my service as slower than the process of evolution. Describing my attitude as pompous and stinky like that crap cheese from France. And my personal favorite, as a God-fearing American I don't trust a dude who looks down his nose at cheeseburgers. But none of these geniuses bothered to mention my air of sophistication, my encyclopedic knowledge of every Merlot ever produced, my confident hand gestures, or, oh, I don't know, saving their lives when they choke on wine and pills. Now, if you'll excuse me, I would like to close up early, retreat to my incredibly well-decorated single-bedroom apartment, and have a small, nervous breakdown. All that remains is for you to finally, blessedly, pay your bill.
No, I don't want to go. I ordered my food and I want to eat it.
You don't even know what you ordered.
I ordered a rare cheeseburger with smoked Gouda on a Kaiser roll and waffle fries.
Well, bully for you.
I don't know, Jeffrey. It's obviously not meant to be between us. I mean, you're not even in the right restaurant, which really annoys me.
So what? Maybe it's fate. You know, two people thrown together against all odds. Two old souls just desperately trying to make it work. That is straight out of the pages of one of your romance novels.
My romance novels usually have fewer Heimlich maneuvers and blathering about Star Wars.
Okay, maybe we should just call it quits before I break another one of your thousands of rules and get sprayed again.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Why do I always have to decide things?
Fine. What do you think?
I think you should pay the bill and leave.
Yeah, that's obvious, but do you think the date should continue?
Yeah, I mean, you seem to have an opinion about everything. Why not this? Should we call it a night or, give it a go?
Well, it's not my...
Well,
son of a bitch. Dearest audience, we have reached the final decision of the evening. Once again, the fate of our obnoxious couple hangs in the balance. Should they end the date or continue the date? Now, incidentally, since we opened the show, no one has ever seen us perform End the Date. So if you choose it, you will be the first and only audience in the world to see us perform End the Date. Listen, let's all just take a deep breath and think about it for a second, shall we? That was kind of cool. Now please applaud for one of the following. For ending the date. For continuing the date. Ending the date it is. I like an audience that's easily influenced by me. You have selected scene 7.1, located on page... You know what? I absolutely don't care anymore. 7,722.3. Flip, flip, flip. Scene 7.1 is entitled Climax of Fire. Enjoy. It should come as a surprise to no one, but I think you should end the date immediately.
I don't know. Are you sure we want this guy deciding our fate?
No offense, Jeffrey, but if we leave the decision up to you, a decision will never be made. Best to be realistic about it. If this date were a novel I was editing, I would highlight every page in red as something that should probably be cut.
Oh, well, maybe you and your pen are right. You know, I came into this date hoping for a nice romantic human interaction, and this has been anything but normal.
You're right. I wanted a nice, normal person to bring to my family's Christmas party, but this entire night has been chaos. And despite my best attempts to get it under control, it has flailed from one bad decision to another.
Yeah. I mean, when you said you preferred Lord of the Rings over Star Wars, I mean, my God, that's insane.
That's not insane. That's called having taste. Lord of the Rings is better, period.
No, there is no period. Art is subjective.
You're right, Jeffrey. Art is subjective. That's why Star Wars doesn't count.
Stop it. Stop insulting Star Wars. You're just embarrassing yourself in front of the waiter.
I'm embarrassing myself? You took 20 90 minutes to decide on the wine, lied to me about being married, and then almost choked yourself to death.
Well, you're the one who slapped me and sprayed me and then left to go feed your cat, Army.
To be fair, I dislike you both equally.
I think that's enough shame for one evening. There is absolutely no hope for a viable relationship here. You know, I don't even want to have a sexual fling with you, so it's a total loss.
Oh, come on. You have to admit that when we were kissing earlier, there was a spark.
I have experienced greater sexual jolts from static electricity.
You're just afraid to admit that you're attracted to me because you can't stand losing control.
There is more sexual tension between you and the waiter than us.
Well, maybe there is some.
No, you know what? Why don't you just head over to Cafe Sunrise? Maybe the person there likes whiny nerds with no money and low Heiner.
If you say one more mean thing about me, I will be forced to start saying mean things back.
No, you won't. You don't have the ball.
That is it! Hello, I'm Miranda. I'm talking out loud to myself. I'm a snobby cat lady who reeks of kitty litter and desperation. I keep little baggies of hair in a dresser drawer like a serial killer. I've had sex with hundreds of people, yet none of them are good enough to meet my family. I can't stand for anything to be even remotely disorganized, which is why I have 7 sticks, one for every day of the week, to stick up my ass!
Jeffrey, I'm an erotic fishmonger with a fear of mushrooms, if that's okay. I mean, I'm sorry if it's okay. I'm sorry that I asked to be sorry. Am I okay? Am I sorry? Where am I? Did I just complete a coherent sentence? If I did, I'm sorry. Will you have sex with me now? Pretty please with a big pathetic on top?
Dearest audience, we've been through a lot. I feel I owe you the truth. This is the worst of all possible endings. So, before the inevitable occurs, I would like to share something with you. It is a picture of a bunny wearing a festive season outfit. Cherish it. Embrace it. Become one with the bunny. It is the last pleasant thing you will see for the duration of the performance. Please enjoy the bunny. As fascinating as this argument is, would one of you please pay the bill?
Congratulations, Jeffrey. You want to be all assertive and in charge? You go ahead and pay the bill. But I am walking out first, which means I win the date.
Win the date? What are you talking about?
You like it or not, our whole society is one big game. Birthday parties, baby showers, funerals, Christmas morning. It's all a big competition. And yes, as a single person living alone with 27 cats, I may be losing the war. But tonight, by walking away from my desperate need for a companion, I am winning the battle. I don't need my stupid family's external validation. I am all I need. So I'm going to go home, get drunker, watch the PBS version of Pride and Prejudice for the 1000th time, and cut the hell out of my kitties. I am a cat lady. Hear me meow.
I get to keep the mistletoe corsage! So who's the real winner here?
Me, if you would pay the bill.
$62 for a bottle of cheap wine?
I also added a mandatory gratuity of 57%.
You take checks, right?
Are you a time traveler? Are you visiting from the year 1997? No, we do not take checks. Cash or credit.
I don't have either. Do you have any dishes I could wash?
I don't want you in my kitchen. Look, we've both had a disastrous evening, so why don't you just leave? I mean this in the kindest way possible, but right now, the sight of you leaving would mean more to me than all the money in the world. If you hurry, you can catch your actual date at Cafe Sunrise. Or call your wife. I leave you with 2 options for fleeing the building. You may exit through our front door and have the dubious pleasure of encountering your former date, or you may exit through the kitchen and plunge into the dark, snow-covered loneliness of the deserted alleyway. Which do you choose?
Yay!
Woo-woo!
Oh my God.
Did it live up to your expectations? Everything you remember? Oh, look, there it is.
Oh,
There it is.
Patrick.
Have you been wearing that all night?
No, yeah, actually I have. You just haven't noticed.
Okay, you guys, give us the final word. Anything you just you're walking away with tonight? Anything you want the audience to remember?
Here's what I'll say, and Bobby sort of alluded to it earlier. I couldn't have been more grateful for Delico Arts and Bobby for calling together a cast that I trusted so implicitly. Like,
man.
You can't do this show without the trust, and we all trusted each other so much that anything could have happened and we would have figured it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say this earlier because, you always, as an actor, you have to trust your castmates, but this show in particular really hammered that home because you had to feel it was nerve-wracking enough to just be on stage trying to figure out which way we're going to go, but you had to just be able to trust that your castmates and that parent up in the booth, that everyone was going to know where we were going to go next. And so that made it a lot easier, the fact that there were so many professionals on this one.
And this was the final moment of the show. When those lights went out, that was it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Did we do both endings that night? I think we did.
I think that's true, because remember the audience was like, please, like through a coup or something, and they were like, please. So then they wanted to see the happy one or whatever, and you guys did that at the end.
I think we ended up doing both, but it is definitely the only time we did the.
Yeah.
Wait,
we did.
Chris's thing back up. Look what Chris said. Oh, Chris.
Aww.
I know.
Thanks, Chris.
That's really sweet.
We did do both endings that night because we knew that I had forced the audience's hand in choosing the ending, that we decided to do an encore of the other ending for them.
That's right. So on the curtain call, you said we'll do this. Okay, that's right. Yeah, you guys. That must have been like palpable relief, though, to get to that moment.
Yeah,
for sure, because we were always like, there was always this thing backstage where we were guessing, like an intermission, guessing which way they would go for, the second act choices. And always being like this, like, I feel like every show we were like, this is the audience that's going to choose the one where the date ends. Every single time, and none of them did.
Yeah. We were always wrong. Siri and Ben, do you Act 2 was always a lot harder than Act 1? Am I the only one who felt that way? It felt so much more dangerous.
Much to say.
Yeah, that's true. I had a lot more lines in Act 2, but it felt more dangerous. The stakes were raised so much more in Act 2, I think. Like, there was more audience participation. There was a lot more that could have gone wrong, I think, in Act 2. So it was always sort of a nail biter for me.
Oh, hey, Scott Pacoditis says that was so much fun. Is that what he said? Oh, thanks, Scott.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
And Scott is someone who has seen it, I think, at the Fringe Festival before we even got our hands on it.
Yeah, Scott said earlier in the chat that he had seen the original, so.
Amy. Yep, yeah. It does pop up more often than one would think, doesn't it, actually?
Yeah, weird. People like seeing me dead. What's that about?
Injured.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I don't know. It probably doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
You guys, what a joy to watch this tonight. It was so fun. I hope you got a kick out of being able to see it from a different perspective at the very least. Any final words before we sign off for the evening?
I'll say this is a prime example of why stage managers are so important, because under the direction of a different stage manager, the show could have been disastrous, and we had the magical Karen involved, and she needs more credit than she has been given, because she was absolutely the fourth cast member in this show.
Oh, no question.
Absolutely.
Woo! And also, too, I want to point out Bobby Gardner's first full production at Delico Arts as director at the helm of his first DA show. So, and people repeatedly were like, "What? That was your first show here?" So good, BF. Super proud of you. I mean, I know it wasn't your first show of your life, but it was still super exciting to have this be your DA debut. Thanks, Valerie.
Yeah. Thank you, Valerie. Yeah, it was a super fun show to direct. And again, just having people you trust to work with. And I didn't know Perrin before the show, but getting to know Perrin and how quickly I trusted Perrin, because she was on top of it from minute one. It was such a great experience. And it was literally my last major theater experience before the pandemic. Yeah. So I cherish it. Yeah. Such a great experience. So thank you, everybody.
Oh, boy. All right, beloved friends. Thank you all for being a part of this magical, weird show. What a joy to be able to watch it happen. Friends, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. It was such a pleasure to have you and to watch this show again with you. It feels really good to be in the audience with you again. All right, get out of here and go make some choices about red or white. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll probably see you again many times, but, just in the spirit of the show, wishing you all the happiest of holidays. Take care, and we will see you next time. Good night, friends.
Happy holidays.